Okay, people, I got. Remember the book we're reading? This is chapter 12. I'm going to do 12 and 13 today. Okay? Now, it says chapter 12 Building the Union Image. One of the inevitable outcomes of buying into the principles of this book is that there will be conflict between the police unions and city officials. Conflict does not take place in a vacuum. It is a very public spectacle where people in the community pay attention. Anytime that conflict takes place, the union will be attacked by the power structure, public officials, businessmen, and the media. The union will be characterized as power hungry, unprofessional, greedy, and other negative labels. The result will be a negative backlash from the community, and that is where the image building comes into play. Image building puts the union in a positive light. The union must develop high positives in advance of any future confrontations. You want to take the edge off of the union's rough and tumble image and establish the softer, warm, and fuzzy side of the organization. By taking this important step, the union builds a base of support or credit with the public that can be cashed in with the public when the big fight takes place. So what exactly is image building? It's an activity that is designated to influence and shape public opinion regarding the union. Image building can be accomplished in several ways. One is to inform the public about the police job, that there is no misinformation about the danger and stress of the job. The public gets their education about police work from watching television shows such as the various Law and Order and CSI program. It is vital that you correct the misimpressions created by the sanitized versions of the job and provide the real picture of your work. Another method of image building is participation in charitable programs that give help to underprivileged or special needs citizens in the community. These programs can be as simple as a donation to a charity or more complex, such as Shop with a Cop. Some union leaders engage in this kind of benevolent activity for the simple reason that it is the right things to do. Others are more Machiavellian types who do it for the sheer calculation of the leverage benefit it brings to your union. Whether you are a purist or a cold blooded SOB, image building is an absolute must for your organization. Teaching the public about the hazards of the job. Your union should be proactive in getting the word about how tough policing really is. This activity can be accomplished by promoting ride along programs or shoot don't shoot exercises, particularly by media representatives and city council members. Then they can see how tough it really is out on the streets. Public servants announcements put out by the union about the job are especially effective and very inexpensive since only production costs are involved. Another great idea is to announce press advisories or a press conference anytime there is a noteworthy incident involving officer safety, injury, or death. Let it be known that there are serious consequences to being a police officer. Another good tactic is to look for issues that highlight the problems that officers face. For example, if the city is dragging its feet on vest replacement, it's a great opportunity to talk to the police about the life cycle of vests and the importance of periodic replacements of vests in the order to increase the survival rate of your members. The problem with all these terrific ideas is that someone has to manage them, given direction to the message and how the message is publicized. This is why you might consider appointing a leader to the position of press or public relations liaison to oversee this work. This subject is expanded upon in part on the news media. Some charitable images building programs that work. There are many types of image building programs that police unions use. In recent years, the Shop with the Cop program has been employed with remarkable success. The union raises funds for the purchase of presents for needy children at Christmas, the one time that the authors reluctantly approve of solicitation, by the way. And officers go with the children to toy stores to assist in the purchase. Another winner is a program called Fingerprint Photo ID. Members of the union go to grammar schools on a designated day to fingerprint and photograph children as a means of identification of an adopted child. There are now software programs to make this event a very simple process. Both school officials and parents appreciate and remember this event. And these types of programs If these types of programs don't fit the needs of your union, there are many other options. There are boundless local charities that are looking for financial assistance that will be gratefully appreciated. You can also look for spur of the moment events that lend themselves to charitable assistance. Citizens who are victim of floods, tornadoes, hurricanes, or for those California Union mudslides will need help in the form of financial aid, food, water, and shelter. You can be creative in the type of assistance that you provide. Chevy Wright, a story that will warm even the hardest of hearts. This story is a classic use of charitable image building by a police union. In 2007, Chevy Wright was a 9-year-old boy who lived in Chandler, Arizona. He was diagnosed with inoperable brain cancer that left him less than a year to live. The Make a Wish Foundation contacted the Wright family, and Chevy told foundation officials that he wanted to be a Chandler police officer. The foundation did not have the capability to write such a wish, so Chevy settled on a trip to Disney World. Chevy's mother contacted Sergeant Keith Benjamin, president of the Chandler Lieutenants and Sergeants Associations, CLASA, and told him about the boy's strong desire to be a Chandler police officer. CLASA then went into high gear to make Chevy Wright's wish a reality. Klasa convinced city officials to declare July 18th Chevy Rights Day. Chevy was outfitted with a police uniform badge and other gear and was escorted to a public ceremony by the Chandler Police Honor Guard. The mayor read a proclamation announcing Chevy Right Day. The chief of police gave him an oath of honor. He was then president. He was then presented with a police quilt and a model police charger. The entire ceremony was videotaped and given to the family. After this ceremony, Chevy spent an entire day taking a helicopter ride, performing FATS training, doing a ride along, talking on the radio, and spending time with the K9 and bike teams. Sergeant Benjamin contacted a local car dealership and convinced the owner to donate a vehicle to the financially strapped Wright family so they could take Chevy to his constant doctor visits. Klasa also sought donations from city employees to pay for 1 year of health insurance for the family and 1,000 in gasoline carts. Keith Benjamin was truly moved by the whole experience. The excitement on Chevy's face when I met with him and his mom, Benjamin said, and explained what was going to happen was beyond explanation. Benjamin felt that the Chevy Wright experience created considerable goodwill in the community and made every one of his members proud that they belonged to an organization that would do something so extraordinary. Please note that our book is dedicated to the Chevy Wright and every other officer who was part of the police labor movement. Chevy Wright died before publication was completed. When your union does charitable image building, blow your horn. Many unions engage in these kind of wonderful programs without an iota of public notice. When it is commendable to take a Mother Teresa like approach to charity, the whole point is to get people in the community to notice what the union is doing. This is why you must blow your horn whenever you do some worthy charitable act. Make it a media event that is preceded with a press advisory giving information about the what, when, and where. Notify your personal press contracts and urge them to attend. Send out a post event press release for those media organizations that were unable to attend. Also, post the information about the event on your website and put it in your publications. And we're going to 13. This is chapter 13, right? It says a knack for PACs, an overview of political action. The ever recurring cycle of federal, state, and local election means that every United States congressional representative, one third of the UN senators, many statewide political figures, and too many local officials to count are up for election at one time or another. This election process means that political actions must be the lifeblood of any police union. Successful state and local police unions must be masters at passing legislations and killing unfavorable bills at the state level by staying politically active. Political involvement makes these unions powerful enough to stop the state municipal league from destroying a lifetime of benefits accumulated by the police. Successful political action at the local level means getting the wages and benefits members richly deserve. Political action cannot be achieved or maintained without two things: members and money. Successful state and local police unions must donate money and time to candidate campaigns. Each member must be asked to join the pack, put out signs, make phone calls, work the polls, and get out to vote. When your union becomes involved in political actions, go all in. If your union leaderships and members aren't convinced of the need to take an active role during an election year, or your participation in a campaign in lukewarm or indifference, then your endorsement will be empty. The union will be viewed as political insiders and the general public as a paper tiger. In fact, it is better to give no endorsements than to give an endorsement that is meaningless, because an empty endorsement is the worst of all possible worlds. The candidate who got the endorsement will feel cheated when the union fails to come through during the campaign. In turn, if the endorsed candidate is elected, he or she will know that they did it without the union's help. The candidate will not feel any depth of gratitude and may actually feel hostile. Should a candidate who did get the endorsement win, that individual will know that there is no penalty for going against your wishes, because there's no tangible benefit of getting the endorsement. That same elected official will not hesitate to oppose the union in the future. If there are no consequences to taking a position contrary to the police union interests, then there is no risk in offending law enforcement. The result of an empty endorsement is that the police union will become a political laughingstock. Your organization will have absolutely no leverage with the politicians you are trying to influence today, and you may not have any in the future as well. Set up a PAC. Every successful police union will have a general purpose political action committee, PAC, that collects and spends money on candidates. Elections are expensive, and every candidate needs all the money he or she can receive. Using the bargaining process to get PAC deductions in your contract, or use the credit union if all else fails, raise fund by whatever lawful means are available. How much money is enough? As an example, if each of the 70,000 Texas police officers donated only $1 per week to a police PAC, the result, three 3,360,000 per year, could probably protect any benefit and pass any bill. Since this is normally unrealistic on a statewide basis, local police unions should consider a minimum goal of $100 per week for their local PAC.
This calculation is great if you have 800 members in the union. Over the course of a 4 year election cycle, you can bank over 166,000, if not so great if you have 200 members in a suburban department where metropolitan media cost will inhale your entire PAC budget in a matter of hours. Now you have the tough decision. Do you limp along on the pennies and nickels members can contribute to the PAC, much like one Bullet Barney in a gunfight, or do you expand the potential donor base by going outside the union? Expand the base of your PAC. If you want to be effective and expand your PAC base, elected officials may not like it, but during their term of office, they have to make decisions. Any controversial political decision leaves a winning side and a losing side. With a little work on your part, the loser could be your friends. Here is a good example. In a major Midwest city, a police union got an early present from Santa late in the election year. The city council voted against a major real estate developer plan to revitalize part of downtown. The NIMBY, not in my backyard crowd was able to defeat a project that represented hundreds of jobs and almost 1 billion expansion of the property tax base. The losing developer was furious and he sent an unsolicited 5,000 check to the union pack in late September. The city council election was only 2 weeks away, and this contribution was an unexpected windfall, but it was not enough to have an impact. So instead of spending it, union leaders went back to the donors and said that they needed between 50,000 and 75,000 to have an impact on the election. The president requested the businessmen put together a meeting with potential donors so PAC leaders could put on a presentation and ask for contribution. The key word in the paragraph above is ask, meaning a presentation at a meeting like that and then ask and not asking for a specific amount from each attendee is a waste of your time and breath. Doing a little handwriting, hand wringing, feet shuffling at the end of the pitch and asking for support will get you nowhere. The people at the meeting will define support as their vote, which costs them nothing and does nothing for your PAC. Depending on your local election laws, the phrasing of your request for money cannot usually be a specific guarantee of how the money will be used. Most states interpret that a coordination which is against election law. What you can do is to tell potential donors that what you've done in the past using case histories and election result, then you can say that the union intends to do more of the same this election. If you want to know where the union stands on candidates, then visit our website to see the union position on the issues and candidates we support. Advising how PAC money will be used in those terms conforms to most election laws and insulates your organization from charges of collusion. You may not have a large, unexpected donor to get the ball rolling for your PAC. So you will have to do the identification work on your own. The good news is you don't have to be a politician to know where potential political money is to be found. All that is needed is the ability to conduct an investigation. When looking at a crime, investigators search for means, motive, and opportunity. The search for political donors uses the same criteria. You find the means by looking over the contribution reports for local candidates. You want to contact the donors that gave the maximum to the opponents of the officials you want to defeat, or donors that have given the maximum to candidates you want to support. If you are targeting a Republican for defeat, you can also look for maximum donors in your city or county who gave to Democratic state Senate, federal, and statewide candidates. Do the reverse if you're looking to support a candidate. Motive can be found in a number of areas. Political donors, potential donors to your PAC can come from people who have given to opponents of someone you wish to defeat. Donors to candidates you support may want to maximize their participation by giving into a pact that supports their choice. Businesses who are angry after being rejected by the city council may wish to express their anger by contributing to your pact. The same is true from homeowner groups or trade associations. You provide the opportunity when you ask for the donations. Some tips about political involvement. A police union with an active, well funded PAC commands respect from elected officials. All politicians worry about getting elected and then staying elected. Before a November election or a local county a, a before a November election or a local city council race, schedule meetings with politicians running to discuss issues of concern to your membership. Politicians seem to have more time to discuss issues with police unions at elected time. Each union should host a political forum for all candidates. Invite the firefighters, other public employees, and the public and the media. Exposure to political reality awakens the sleeping membership. Also, it forces aspiring politicians and incumbents to make their promises in public. Don't worry about picking a loser. There is a 50% chance of doing that in every election. Working hard for your candidate, and if he or she loses, approach the winner about what he plans to do for the police now that he or she is elected. A candidate's support at the state capitol or city council can always translate into police union support in the next election. During one recent city council race, a police union ran a comprehensive, positive, independent expenditure campaign in support of the incumbent. The PAC sent out mailings, did surveys, purchased radio time, and made GOTV calls. On election night, in a tremendous upset, the incumbent was defeated. Did this mean the union lost political power at City Hall? No. The newly elected council member, impressed by the efforts of the union made on behalf of the losing candidate, called the president and asked for a meeting. During the subsequent discussion, he expressed support for the union's manpower efforts and asked how they could work together in the future. The key word is involvement. Getting involved means building friendship, relationship, and respect. This activity clearly translates into support for passing bills and approving good collective bargaining agreements. But police unions cannot win for the membership if the members do not work for the elected officials. A union that cannot provide manpower or PAC support, better yet, both, is a paper tiger that will not have respect and will not produce results in the membership. Remember, our earlier Jim Hightower quote that the only things in the middle of the road are yellow stripes and dead armadillos. Endorse a candidate, and once endorsed, give the candidate your strongest support. One source of real police union power is in the political arena. It is the only place where the playing field is level between police union and its opponents, the public employees and state municipal leagues. Thank you.